Another big reason too is Erica got in a very serious motor vehicle accident on my birthday.
Sorry again.
Yeah, and so
Well, technically,
what a birthday present.
It was 2 a.m., so it wasn't your birthday.
It was
anymore.
not my birthday anymore, and And welcome back to the Your Last Resort podcast with your host, Brandon Lejean, a.k.a. the Shoot Comic, a.k.a. the Tank Top Comic, a.k.a. he wore a tank top last episode, also comic, a.k.a. I'm wearing it because I have a tattoo now that I'll show you in a couple minutes when I feel like getting up. But joining me on this gloomy day here in Austin for the 7th time is my girlfriend, Erica Cline. Thank you for joining the podcast. Woo! 7 times. That's a ton of times, huh?
Yeah, 7's a lot. It's kind of wild because it feels like it's only been like, oh, maybe 2 or 4.
I know. There's some people who say it's 7 times too many. What do you have to say to them?
I could maybe agree, but I also don't remember a lot of them. Maybe I just black out during it or something.
That's fair, yeah. It's just you're in like a you know, like the Squidward meme where everything's blurry around him. Maybe it's Mr. Krabs,
It is Mr. Krabs, yeah.
Just that meme is how you feel at all times when you're on this podcast. Oh my God,
the first one I did with you, I was terrified.
You were like, oh my God, these 7 people are going to be so disappointed in me.
Well, and it's funny because even with the first one, we were only like sitting in your room with just like holding the mics. Like it wasn't like the visuals or anything.
No,
but I was still
wrong.
so nervous.
The first one you did, there was no holding mics. That was back when we had the snowball mic.
Oh,
that just would sit between us.
Right.
So
okay.
Before, maybe I've talked about this before, but before we had visual and stuff on the podcast, guys, and before I had these nice mics, I had like the first episode, I've said this, was a PlayStation headset.
And
then episode
really
3 through like 35 were this snowball mic. It's a unidirectional USB mic that I would like, if this was the setup, I would set it like right here and hope it picked up both of us. Yeah. And then I upgraded to new mics. So yeah, you've done it in all of them.
I know. I've seen the transition between everything.
Yes, we're transitioning here. We are a Zim Zen Zer podcast now.
Oh my God.
We don't have genders here. My podcast is not a guy nor a girl, but yet a singular entity riding through the floating rock on space that we're going through. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm spiraling out of control. The first would you rather that we're going to kick the podcast off with is, would you rather reverse one decision you make every day or stop time for 10 seconds every day? I feel like for someone who makes a lot of mistakes, this is going to be a hard question for you.
What was the second one again?
Would you rather stop time for 10 seconds every day?
Okay, and then the first one was to reverse the decision.
Yes.
Okay. As a person who overthinks everything I say, but like an hour after I say it,
yeah,
I'm going to go with reverse because I'll like have a full conversation with somebody and then like an hour later I'll be by myself and I'm like, God, why did I say that? That was so stupid. They probably think I'm so stupid. And I just like will just really like put myself down about it, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Even though they probably didn't blink an eye, they're just like, oh, that was a normal conversation, and I'm like, God, they probably think I'm the dumbest person.
Yeah, overthinking will kill you. But I mean, that's the thing is if you know every day you have one thing to reverse, do you ever think that you'll eventually start overthinking what you should reverse? As in, like, you wake up and it's like every day you consciously know that you can reverse one thing. So maybe at like 11 a.m. you say something awkward and you're like, I won't reverse that. And then you wait all day and then nothing else as awkward happens. And then you start regretting and overthinking, should you have reversed that moment? Or like, what if a bunch of moments happen and you're like, which moment do I reverse? Which one was the worst? Which one do I want gone at the day?
Oh, God, that is so difficult.
And then eventually
because then I wouldn't want to reverse anything like at the beginning of the day. It would be like, okay, I have it left and it's like 11:30, you know?
Yeah, no, I totally get you. And it's not like they stack or like you get to cash them in one day. I don't know, the 10 seconds
they
though,
stack and you just cash in like 10 reverses.
If it was paused for like a minute, I get that. But to stop time, what does stopping time for
like, what's
10
the benefit?
seconds really do? Like right now, if I stopped it and then nothing happened for 10 seconds except I can move, what?
I feel like I would use that in some moments to fully like take in the moment.
Yeah, but
like if we're like sitting there having a really nice dinner and I'm eating like a really good meal.
You're
then
taking
I'll,
a really good shit, and just the way it feels leaving your ass, you want to keep it.
Is that why people sit in the bathroom forever?
I wonder what.
Just trying to take in the really good poop.
I wonder if you paused it during like an orgasm, if it would be like such an intense feeling, you just end up in that white nothingness, you know? Just you by yourself. You like break the time-space continuum. Just tense,
And they go,
yeah.
you are at the end of time.
Yeah, you had like an infant, like because you paused the nut, it made like infinite timelines of different nuts, and you're simultaneously.
At Loki. Everyone go watch Loki.
Yeah, you're busting just 85 nuts across 85 timelines, thus having the greatest orgasm of all time.
God, you made a really good point with the first one about how like you would end up just kind of overthinking it all the time, and then you'd be like, well, should I use it now? What if there's a worse one later? And like it would be, if anything, it would be more stressful.
I'm showing everyone my tattoo.
Oh. I think it would be a little more stressful. Everyone look at his tattoo. Look at his tattoo. It's the Mandalorian. And it has the number 13 because he got it on Friday the 13th. And there was no bad luck that day, actually.
Yeah.
Everyone always thinks it's like a bad luck day. My mom's birthday is on a 13th, and whenever it falls on a Friday, it's still a good day.
Yeah. Yeah, the tattoo is it's the Mandalorian. There's now a picture between us too if you didn't see it then, but it's just a Mandalorian helmet, and it has like the 13 written on it. I don't know, I never had a tattoo, so I thought it'd be like a fun excuse to get one and dip into the world, and then maybe I never ever get another one and I just have one, but I can cover it whenever I want. It's pretty cute if we're gonna be honest with each other.
No, it's adorable. Tattoos are so cool. Like obviously I've seen tattoos before, but like really getting to look at yours, it's amazing how like crisp it is.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I keep like thinking it's gonna like I'm just gonna wake up and it's gonna be all of a sudden like really shitty or something, you know, like or when
like it's gonna be like bleeding into
yeah, like I don't look at it and like all the lines, but yeah, I mean it literally looks like the guy just stuck like a sticker on my arm.
No, because it like looks so perfect. Like I can't even imagine when people get like the realistic like tattoos of like somebody's face. Like
yeah, that shit's gotta scare you occasionally.
Yeah, you see it and you go, oh okay.
Yeah, I it wasn't as painful as I thought it was gonna be for sure. I mean, I also got like the most weenie tattoo possible, like super tiny in one of the least painful spots. I was in the chair for 3 minutes. Like, there's people like some of my friends who have gotten full pieces on their forearms and their arms. They'll have to do 2 separate like 4-hour sessions.
Oh my
so
God.
8 hours total sitting in the chair. I sat in there for 3 minutes. So. I'm
it
sure.
was so fast.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot worse when you're getting it colored and shaded and all that type of shit. But yeah, the 13th didn't have really any bad luck, I suppose. It's kind of like the stupid. They don't have the 13th hotel room on the 13th floor.
Oh my God.
Like
okay.
there's no 13th floor, but they just skip 12 and 14.
Yeah. So I get it. Like you don't want to have any bad juju in your hotel. But also, it's still the 13th floor.
It makes me think of a saying a football coach used to say to us. Shout out Coach Vaughn used to say to me in training, you could put a makeup on a pig, but if it looks like a pig and it talks like a pig, it's a pig. And that's the most southern fucking saying I've ever heard in my life right there. But
I've definitely heard you say that before. That's so funny.
But yeah, he would say that all the time, which I mean, yeah, you don't have to call it the 13th floor. You could say it's not the 13th floor, but the 14th floor is still the 13th floor. Like
yeah,
just
now you're just messing everything
just
up.
Just because you skip numbers. Like, remember back in kindergarten when you'd be like 1, 3, 4, and your teacher's like, you can't skip 2 because that's how numbers work. You can't just fucking skip a number, you know?
Actually, I just remembered that's how the hotel that I worked at here in Austin, that's how their floors were. They didn't have a 13th floor. Also,
I used to get it in Vegas. Like when there was in Vegas, they don't want the 13th hotel because it's bad luck.
Oh, because
and
it's
you're
like
gambling.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck if it's the 13th floor here in Austin? What the who gives a fuck?
Downtown
There's
Austin.
no gambling.
Oh no, you're right next to the Capitol.
Yeah, it's stupid. I don't know. It's just dumb because it doesn't make any sense. really no one's that superstitious. Like if you meet people,
oh my gosh, I saw something. Sorry, I saw
Yeah.
something, and it was like how like Latina grandmas are, and they're like, oh, don't do you're like witchy.
Latinx.
Sorry,
It's Latinx.
Latinx.
I just said we're Zimzens or
Sorry.
transitioning podcast fucking here, and you're calling it.
But like Hispanic people can be like very superstitious, but they don't even think about it. Like my grandma told my mom, like, if you ever want to kind of get someone out of your life, you write their name on a piece of paper and then you put it in the freezer. And that's so weird, but it like weirdly worked, but also like, you know, it would have probably happened anyways.
Is it racist if I say that that's some dumb shit right there? Am I canceled because I'm white and I don't like that? Because hear me out. Ready? Spin zone. It doesn't work writing your name and putting them in a freezer to get someone out of your life. It's the fact that you like someone so little, you wrote their name on a piece of paper and put it in a freezer. Oh,
That's a good point.
Kind of worked out. What do you mean? I wouldn't do that. That's psychotic. You hated this person so much to do that. You're going to subconsciously push them out of your life. So no shit it happens.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is a placebo, but that's why they work.
No, I know. It's just funny to be like, one way or another, it kind of works. One way or another, it works because you're the psycho that wrote something and put it in a freezer. What the fuck are we doing here?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's so interesting how like every culture has its like little superstitions.
It's why though that those superstitions can't be used. How come they don't have superstitions to make someone fall in love with you? Because you can write someone's name on a piece of paper and then subconsciously force them out of your life, thus making it an independent decision. But you can't force someone to like you. And when you tell them that you wrote their name and put it in the freezer so they'd fall in love with you, they're going to block your Instagram profile.
Okay, but what if you put the paper in the oven?
I knew you were going to say some dumb shit. Like, the way you quick-witted responded, I was like, and incoming dumb shit. That was me smacking the incoming dumb shit button, which is okay. I'm just fucking with you. But, yes, if you put it in the oven. But that's my point.
Then they'll fall in love with you.
They're not. They don't have. The freezer doesn't have fucking superpowers. If I put a piece of chicken in the freezer, am I gonna stop finding chickens in my life? The fuck are we doing here?
That's exactly how it works.
Yeah, they're
at least
fun.
to understand now.
As much as I'm shitting on them, though, they're fun. Like white people, we don't have. Okay, maybe Southern white people. Like as much as we
don't walk under a ladder. Don't break glass. Don't walk past a black cat. Something like that.
Are those white people things? I feel like that's something like Jack the Ripper said in London in like 1522. He's like, "Don't walk by me cat or I'll cut your head off." And then he would just cut people.
He really just didn't want people touching his cat. I'm so glad
I just getting killed by someone with a shitty accent could not be funny to me.
Oh gosh, someone with like a Cockney accent.
Yeah, like because I'm just thinking of the fact that obviously getting killed is so scary. Like if you're walking down the street, someone holds a gun to you and they're like, "You have any last words? I'm gonna fucking end your life." You're crying, and you're so sad and shit. But imagine if a guy pops out with a gun and he's like, "Hey, love, get on the floor right here now. I'm going to end your life. Any last sentences you'd like to utter, bruv?" And you're just like you can't not.
I would just burst out laughing.
Yeah, you can't not laugh as he ends your life with cold steel.
Well, that's why I love watching Love Island so much. And like I've tried to watch the US version, but it's just like not as fun because the UK, they just like use such funny words and like, you know, obviously it's normal to them, but even like they make fun of themselves so that they're like, "We're gonna crack on, your head gonna be turned, I'm gonna get mugged off."
Yeah, so you basically just like laughing at British people's accents.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. And then they do get mugged off and you're like, "What?"
Yeah, they say some ridiculous ass shit. I mean, obviously, so do we.
Yeah.
But it's just funny, like their language. It's weird. Okay, here's why I'll say it's weird. Obviously, if you translate like Spanish to English, you're like, "What the fuck?" Like a chancla, like people are like a sandal is a weapon. Like what?
Well, then
doesn't make any sense. But English and what would you call? Do they also speak English? Do you call it English or is there another word for it?
Well, they have so they speak English, but they have different like accents. Like there's the Welsh accent,
But that's
the
what I'm
Birmingham,
saying. Isn't it
Essex,
so
all that.
weird that like how like because I understand that like in California we say hella and we say yeah no and no yeah.
And
And
people
in
from
in the south they say y'all and people in the north say like
Wicked.
and they call shopping carts buggies and wagons
that's the
and
most ridiculous
weird
one.
stuff. They do have weird phrases like that, but mostly we all say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so weird that like the British, who also speak the same language as us,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like a completely different language over there, in a sense.
No, 100%.
Their slang is weird, I guess, is a way to put it. I guess slang is probably weird. I probably am
Just language and culture is just really like so crazy.
I think I'm just looking at this as like a super white dude who like just a white dude, a white American being like, bro, isn't it weird that like slang is different? Yeah, slang's different in America, slang's different in Spanish,
yeah.
I'm just being an ignorant American in this scenario, I suppose.
Exactly.
It's okay though. Well, we're gonna move in. We gotta talk about the whole reason that we brought you on here was your injury. So if you guys are part of the squad or if you're new to this, basically what happened is a couple weeks ago there, for the first time, I didn't put out an episode at 1 week, and I hadn't missed an episode in 70 episodes, and unfortunately I had my uncle had passed. But then another big reason too is Erica got in a very serious motor vehicle accident on my birthday.
Sorry again.
Yeah, and so
Well, technically,
what a birthday present.
It was 2 a.m., so it wasn't your birthday.
It was
anymore.
not my birthday anymore, and but you got very hurt, and I was kind of taking care of you, and she didn't come on the next week because she was healing and scars. So
I was in so much pain.
So I'm gonna I'll set the stage. So guys, it was my birthday. It was my 24th birthday, July 24th. We were out celebrating on a
it was
Saturday
your golden
night.
birthday.
Yeah, it was a very rare time. My birthday actually fell on a Saturday, so I could stay out late partying and enjoy it. It was a great, a perfect birthday setup. And we went out to the Cider Bar, which is like an arcade bar here in town.
Cidercade, yeah.
And we decided to go over to Rainy Street, which is like another party street. Now, we rode birds over there. And if you guys have heard before on the podcast, Erica has crashed the wheel spikes twice in LA and kind of
twice in like the same 10 minutes.
Yeah, you slammed in the side of a restaurant so hard, car stopped and made traffic come to a stop to make sure she was okay.
Yeah, because the first one was the railing because the
wheel alignment was crooked.
There you go. The alignment
slightly,
was off.
Like just crooked enough where when your handlebars were straight, your wheels slightly pulling you to the right.
And I'm also just not coordinated.
Yeah, unathletic.
So
awkward,
I didn't know what to do.
Weird,
and
smelly.
This is the one that happened a couple years ago. So I ran into the railing. 10 minutes later, I went to brake, but I sped up, and then I fell again. And
I'll never forget that time.
But that day, I only got scrapes on my leg. Like, that was it.
I'll never forget that time because when she fell the second time and I came up to her laughing, we had to go like a mile and we didn't want to pay for an Uber because it's cheaper, and those things are fun to ride. And you hit the floor and I pulled up and you looked at me and you're like, can you just call a fucking Uber already? And then I called an Uber because you were very upset.
Yeah.
And we got there. But so then this night, Erica's regained her confidence. We're riding birds again. And we decide to ride bird scooters. So we ride bird scooters over to Rainy Street. We actually had to ride on the freeway. And our scooters cut out because we were in a restricted zone. So we were like pedaling on the freeway. Like cars were going around us and shit. We got to Rainy Street. And then we had a few more drinks there. We departed. And we took the bird scooters back, and then we
were on our way back to the car.
Yeah, we were on our way back to the car. Our roommate had driven us. He was driving us for the night, and then we were riding, and we got near Congress Bridge, which is like the 35 is the main interstate highway freeway in Austin. And it's like what takes you straight into downtown, and the bridge that takes you over the water into downtown is called Congress Bridge. And we get to Congress Bridge, and I'm following Erica. Our roommate's in the front. Erica's in the middle. I'm in the back. We're all kind of spread out. We're zooming on these scooters, headed back home. I'm thinking about what drunk food I'm going to have on the way home. I'm thinking about what show I want to watch when I fall asleep, how I'm going to end my birthday night. And then I pull up to see Erica laying on the ground. Now, before we get into this, yes, you were. Now, before we get into this, what do you remember? You got on the bird scooters, right?
Yeah, I remember. Like zooming through like the side of traffic, you know?
Yeah.
And we were almost done with the night. I don't remember falling.
Okay, yeah.
But Galen said that he kind of hit a bump like right before me and he almost wiped out. So I'm assuming that the same thing happened to me.
Yeah.
But I just am not as coordinated. I'm not athletic like either of you.
Yeah, where the scooter was laying and you were, it's also a possibility that you just rode into the side of the barrier.
Oh, geez.
Like just like which is, I don't know how you did that, but you might have done it.
We'll literally never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. So then I'm riding behind, and then I see Erica laying on the ground, and I think, because I'm blackout drunk. It's my birthday. I'm supposed to be having a good time, you know, enjoying myself and all that. And I see Erica laying on the floor, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why? I thought you were fucking with me. I thought you were playing.
Yeah,
playing
just a little practical joke.
Whoa, now, okay. English is hard. I think you said that earlier.
Yeah,
so
we already talked about that.
now it's coming full circle here. But so you are hurt. I see you laying on the floor, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I think you're fucking with me, and I pull up, and I literally go, come on, Erica, get up. And then I look, and you said you weren't crying. You were just like, you were laying on the floor, like arm over. Yes, you were, and you're going like...
Oh, you told me at first. I was just going.
You were like moaning and whining and crying, and you weren't not crying.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
And yeah, you weren't like brave in this moment or anything.
No, I didn't think I was brave. I thought I got knocked out.
No, yeah. You were laying on the floor, and I was like, Erica, and like I said, she was leaned over, and I rolled her over, and then you were just laying in a pool of your own blood.
Cute.
Which is such a scary thing to pull up to when you're in the process of blacking out. Just to see, like, oh, hey.
Yeah, and I felt great.
There's my girlfriend. Oh, yeah. And so
she's in a pool.
I'm like, Erica, and I'm trying to make sure that you're okay. Because now I'm like, there's so much blood. I'm thinking you, like, are dead. Or something, or your head is cut open. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do. I can't figure out where the blood is coming from. I'm drunk. So I call Galen, and I'm like, Galen, come back to the bridge. I need you to pick us up. So he's on his way to the car. So then I called and somehow put together, you know, the 3-way calls where you call someone, put them on hold, call the other person, and merge them. Mm-hmm. I did that with our parents. And I was like, Erica fell. She's bleeding. She's hurt. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm freaking out.
Both parents said that you were like in a panic.
Well, I can't figure out where this blood is coming from. I think you're bleeding
and my mom was like, Brandon, calm down. Where is the blood coming from? Can you tell? You're like, everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah, there was so much blood. Like, so much. It ruined my shirt. It filled your purse. It's all over the pants.
Yeah, my purse is still covered in blood.
Well, that's less because it's hard to get out and more that you're lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to be mean, but
no, I just haven't done it yet.
Zero attempts to clean the purse. That's
well, I have like 5 purses, so it doesn't matter.
That's fair. But it was your nice one.
I have a couple nice ones. I'm nice.
And so all this happens. I'm freaking out. Erica's like out of it. So Galen pulls up and we throw her in the car. We're going to the emergency room. Now, the worst part is I literally remember getting in the car and then I was walking into the emergency room. So I was like, I might have just kind of taken a nap on the way to the ER while you were bleeding out in the back seat, which is always
bleeding out,
which is always a great boyfriend move by me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get in to the ER. Do you remember going into the? So you don't remember anything until the next day, right?
I can tell you exactly what I remember. I remember. Like, and this is all like so vague, fuzzy. I remember for a split second kind of like looking at you. You're standing above me on the phone, like flipping out, like absolutely freaked. And then I remember Galen pulling up in the middle of the bridge. And I was thinking, wow, why is he stopped in the middle of traffic? It's kind of weird. And you're like, come on, go this way, go this way. And I was like, where are we going?
Yeah.
And then I remember getting a CAT scan, and I was very excited about it because I was like, I'm going into ultrasound and radiology. And I was like, ooh, a CAT scan. And they were like, okay, just come over here. And then I remember waking up the next morning and I was like, I'm in the hospital.
Yeah. So I'll fill in the gaps then. So
thank you. Also, they gave me morphine though.
Yeah,
so.
that's why too.
Yeah.
We get to the hospital and we go in, and immediately they're like, we need your insurance and your cards and all that. And I gave them like our insurance cards and all that shit. We go into the back room and they take us into the ER room. Like, they're like, holy fuck, what happened? So now for you guys watching, which is why you should go watch the podcast if you're listening, between us, I have pictures of Erica when she was super like her in the hospital. So you can see there's the selfie with me and her. There'll also be a picture of like me and of her.
The selfies are hilarious now.
So funny. I thought in the moment, I remember I was fucked up, but I remember being like, you should take a selfie because this will be funny later. And I'm glad I did. And I have a few pictures we took of you showing you. So she fucked up her nose and she needed 7 sutures in her nose. And then
I didn't wear makeup today, so you can see my scars in all their glory.
Yeah, and so I forgot to mention too, when she's laying on the floor in the pile of blood, she says something to me and I noticed that her tooth is missing. Her front big tooth is missing. So I'm panicking and I look around and I see her bloody chipped tooth on the floor, and I pick it up and take it with us. And my mom told me to make sure I got it on milk as soon as we were there. So we get there, and like I said, they did the sutures. You have the stitch in your mouth. They're putting gauze in you. They're giving you morphine. And I remember it was funny because like I was so fucked up, and like I know nothing about the medical field, but I just remember being like, why does she need morphine? Like, you didn't lose your arm. Like, you're fine. You don't need morphine. You're okay. Like, I feel like they're giving you a little extreme of a drug. And you definitely needed it.
It was very needed.
But it made her like incoherent because they started doing her stitches and stuff, and she was like, you kept going, sorry, I'm such a dumb bitch. The nurse was like, you were making the nurse laugh while she was trying to stitch you up.
I was projecting because I think I was just really embarrassed that I was that uncoordinated that I ended up in the ER. I was like, God, I can't believe I fucking did that. And I was so mad because now I was also just going to be in pain, but I don't think I was necessarily thinking about that. But I would think I was just embarrassed overall.
I get you. Also, too, it was hilarious because you were so... like you called yourself a dumb bitch so many times that like by the 4th time the nurse kind of looked at me and was like, is this like a common nickname you refer to who as? Like, why does she keep calling? And I was just like, I don't know. This dumb bitch right here keeps calling herself it. And so they stitch you up and like and all that. But when I get in there, I'm freaking out. I'm like, I need milk. Like, we need fucking milk. I need to put this tooth on milk.
Do you think milk just prevents the tooth from dying?
Yeah, it gives it calcium.
Okay,
like
that's what I figured. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, it keeps it from dying and rotting. And so, like, I'm like, I need fucking milk. And they're like, we don't have any milk. But I was on the phone with my mom. And to me, I'm like, they don't have any milk. And she's like, they don't have milk? It's a hospital. And so then I was like, I wasn't supposed to reiterate that. But I looked at them and I was like, you don't have milk? It's a fucking hospital. And like... They were like, okay, we'll go get you milk. And they're like, can we have the tooth? And I hand them the tooth, and the lady looks at the tooth and looks at me and goes, sir, this is a rock. So I had not picked up a tooth. I had picked up a rock.
So my tooth is somewhere on the Congress
side of
Bridge.
Congress Bridge if you're looking for it. If I will offer a $5 reward for the tooth.
My tooth is fixed now. I have like a fake tooth, a filling, and it's fine now, but that story is just hilarious.
Yeah, oh yeah, because
you were yelling at them and they said, sir, this is a rock.
I felt really, really bad after yelling at them just because like there was no need for me to be yelling that much. And hilarious. I felt like a jackass almost immediately.
Yeah, the drunk
but
jackass.
But I was so drunk that
milk.
I also kind of didn't care because I immediately was like, this is going to be a hilarious bit. And this is so funny. And I think I texted Galen because he was in the lobby and I was like, LOL, the tooth is a rock. That was all I sent him. So after that happens, like, I'm kind of now quiet because I'm like, I should shut the fuck up. And like for some reason I don't ask for any water. I don't get anything to drink while I'm in here to like to make me less drunk. And then like I remember we were like, we got to take her into a CAT scan to make sure she doesn't have internal bleeding. So we went to go get a CAT scan.
They also checked for a concussion and broken bones and stuff like that.
And we go into that, and well, they need an X-ray machine for that, not a CAT scan. I thought you would know that since you were in the medical field.
What do you mean? Okay. You know what I meant.
Well, I didn't know.
I also got X-rays done.
No, I know. And so, but I was saying when they took us in to do the CAT scan. Sorry, my foot's in the shot. And they were like, I always do. It's just so comfortable to sit like that, but I don't wear shoes because my feet aren't in like 99% of the shot. But then when I do that, it's just not a pleasant image for people to stare at my big ogre toes. But what was I saying? We went in the CAT scan and I literally walked in. I was like, going into the CAT scan. And then I swear to God, I blinked and I was like, leaving the CAT scan. And I was like, how long were we in there? I don't know what I did while I was in there. I don't know. Like,
my guess is you actually fell asleep.
But I was standing the whole time. Specifically.
You could have just
fallen asleep. I might have slept standing up, and that's why I don't remember it.
Oh God, I would love to ask those nurses what happened.
I'd love to see
security
footage at like 30 times speed, so it's like 5 minutes long of my activities that entire night, so I could just see what I did throughout the night. So we got you out of the house. We took you back home.
My face was so
Your face was so bad.
My arms hurt so bad.
Road rash, like out, like, you know, if you
like, I have scars on my arm, and you can like see the lines from where my like arm got dragged.
Yeah, and if you like have ever played sports and had road rash or turf burn or any shit like that, it all up her arm was that.
On my
shoulder. And it was shoulder was so bad that I remember the first time when you first got back from the hospital and you fell asleep, we had all her wounds wrapped and she was passed out, but you had the like goo that seeps from the wounds, not to get graphic, leaked through her bandages and through her shirt. You were like stuck to the bed when you woke up.
My shirt was stuck to my shoulder. Because it was the one part, like the very back of my shoulder, like wasn't covered in gauze. And the gauze was stuck to me. Oh, God, it was so painful.
It was bad.
It was so funny when my shirt, because I didn't think to wear a tank top for some reason.
Yeah.
My shirt was like stuck to me. And I was like, oh, my God, what am I going to do? This is going to hurt so bad. And you were like, yeah, I don't know. And you're holding it up. And then you go, shink, and you ripped it off. And I went,
yeah, I think I was like, are you ready to pull it? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, okay, ready? And you were like, yeah. I was like, 1. And then I pulled it on
No,
1.
You did it. We were in the middle of a conversation.
Oh, I thought it was like, you know, like you surprise a kid and you just rip the Band-Aid off.
No, you did it, but I didn't know you were going to do it. Like we're like, maybe we should just do that. And then you just did it. And I was like, oh my God. Like I just needed to breathe for a second. And you were like, I'm sorry. Should I not have done that?
It felt like the 40-year-old virgin scene when he rips the hair off her. Like you were like, God, son of a biscuit. And I was like,
Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, Kelly Clarkson.
No, but then you were like, I'm sorry. Should I not have done that? I was like, no, it's good.
I felt really bad because I like immediately I realized how much pain I put you through in that moment. I was like,
well, I mean, I was going to be in pain either way. Like when you were like cleaning my arm wounds and stuff.
Oh, yeah, you deserved it. You're right.
Shut up.
I feel better now. Thank you.
No, I was just going to say like, it just, God, I don't even think I've ever been in that much pain before. And then because of all of this, like, because I didn't want to like hurt the like scabs that were forming and stuff, like, I would just tense up my body so much, and because of it, I would have like random muscle spasms, and I'd be like, "This is so fun."
Yeah,
just like on top of the actual like outer like wounds.
Yeah, that's why I got this tattoo, so I could be in solidarity with you and having skin wounds and pain. I understand.
Appreciate it.
Solidarity, brother.
I know everything actually on my arm at least healed pretty nice. Like I don't care about like the discoloration. Like I'm not in pain, and. My face, there is a little bit of scarring, unfortunately, but, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, no.
It's my fault since I was such a dumb bitch.
I know. Best birthday present I've received. Here's just the thing that pissed me off, is you could have instead of falling off the bird, I'm actually going to hold my tongue on what I was going to say.
Okay.
I was going to say some out-of-pocket ass shit. So you know what? We're not going to talk about how hypothetically, allegedly, I was going to maybe say that you could have just let me beat you up like Rihanna status, like instead of...
hypothetically, allegedly.
Yeah, I didn't say this.
Well,
and
in public, everyone was always like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was
like,
cool.
Also, because I had such bad bruising on my chin, like such bad
I know.
bruising, and on like all over my calf.
Your chin was so hard.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
It still is.
Yeah, but even crazier. Yeah,
my face looked so bad. I mean, I'm sure Brandon will put like pictures up and stuff, but I'm pretty thankful that I had no broken bones. I'm amazed I didn't break my jaw with how much bruising there was on my chin.
It's insane. Like, I remember in the moment, I guess I was kind of angry because I was just like, God damn it. Like,
he ruined my birthday.
Yeah, well, just like, I was just like, fuck, I didn't want to go to hospital. Like, fuck, this is going to cost money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why can't you just ride a scooter? It's not that hard.
But you took very good care of me.
But then I was more in the end, I just was like, wow, like, she hit her face and her head and didn't break her neck and didn't break any bones. So I'm just glad that you're not dead. And then,
yeah. Thank you for taking such good care of me. Sorry to get soppy.
Of course. And the reason I do it is because if I didn't, I would have no guest for the episode of this podcast, which I don't even think I said. This is episode 73.
I don't think I would have been able to, if I was like by myself, like if I lived by myself, like I would have been screwed,
Yeah, you need me.
I do.
You fucking need people like me. All right, well, that was your injury. We're all glad that you're okay. Back that you're glad that you're glad on the podcast. Glad that you're back on the podcast. I wanted to
tell the tale.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about a few other topics before we go in. Well, also before we talk about other topics, I forgot to do it in the middle, but the dumbass of the week this week brought to you by Red Foreman.
Dumbass, dumbasses, dumbass, 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 dumbass.
Has to be me for thinking that your tooth was a rock. I gotta give it to myself. I can't help but shit on myself a little and being the dumbass of the week this week because, yeah, I mean, I was trying my best, A for effort, but...
A for effort. You were like, I'm gonna save this damn tooth.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is I think that because you chipped it, and not knocked it out, I don't think that it would have mattered.
No, it
like
definitely
they weren't
gonna
fucking glue your two teeth back together with super glue or shit.
Especially because when I went to the dentist, obviously in the moment when it was chipped and it was at like kind of like an angle ish, it felt like it was such a big chip. Obviously because you're used to big ass front teeth, but. When they took the dental x-rays and they're like, yeah, this is the chip and everything. And I was like, why does it not look that bad?
Yeah, no, it could have been worse. Again.
And my tooth inside didn't rot. So that's good news. I just went in for a checkup.
Yeah.
So
we're doing. Asked if you had to get a root canal too.
Oh yeah, because if it did, I was gonna have to get a root canal.
Well, guys, if you want to send to my Venmo at BrandonLejean91, we're gonna get fucked with
hospital
bills.
Also, when Brandon was drunk in the ER.
Oh, we didn't finish this part. So a callback. If you guys remember, I told you when I went into the ER, I gave them my ID and stuff. When I left, they just gave me back my Costco membership card.
Oh, I was that too.
Like they literally were like, well, if he has Costco membership, he probably has insurance. He's got fucking money. Like.
In the panic, you set up a
I did set up a GoFundMe drunk, which I need to find.
But you didn't like tell anyone about it.
I don't have the link to it. I don't really know what I did with it, so I don't know how you find it. But I wrote it, and I bet you there's a chance that it's something like Erica Cline, this fucking dumbass, fell off a stupid fucking bird scooter on my goddamn fucking bird. Just profanity and anger and nonsense, and please give me money. So.
And you have to like put a picture for it in the middle of it. You probably just took a picture of me laying down.
That's probably what the selfie was for. You know what I mean?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, we haven't even looked at it. We just know it exists.
Yeah. Glad you're doing better now.
Thank
That's
you.
The dumbass of the week.
So glad I'm doing better too. I mean, I finally have the stitches out, and it's just
I want to become a fanny
tiny
pack
scar.
guy.
A fanny pack guy. Wow.
I wish I could be a fanny
what a
pack
turn.
Guy. I don't know. There's people I've seen around town, like other comics and stuff too. They'll rock a fanny pack. and I'm
Yeah.
jealous because like
What would you put in your fanny pack?
oh, like you could put just
Phone,
like
chapstick,
phone,
wallet,
chapstick. You could do that like
keys.
You could put like if you have a small notebook, like put a notebook in it.
Oh,
like a
true.
tiny
Especially
notebook.
for comics. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
your
otherwise
head-
you're just holding it.
Like your AirPods, shit like that.
Ooh,
It's
AirPods,
nice
good one.
because like a backpack sucks because a backpack's big, bulky. You got to take it off to sit down. You got to take it off to go on stage. You got to fucking it's on your back, so your back sweats through your t-shirt and shit. But if you have a fanny pack, you just flip it around. Like you can kind of look fashionable with it. I feel like when my hair, because I'm growing out my hair, when it gets to like man bun length, I can implement a fanny pack into my swagger and I'll be okay. I just got to get a nice fanny pack.
It's crazy how much your like fashion sense and quote unquote swagger has like grown
Quote unquote swagger.
has like grown exponentially in the past like 2 years.
Yeah, I think when I got done with football.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I would just wear like gym shorts and sweatpants and my thighs were so big from squatting every day that like I couldn't fucking
Thunder
fit
thighs.
into jeans and shit. Like wearing jeans was like putting my legs in a Chinese finger trap. So it was the worst fucking thing.
Hated wearing jeans.
Now I like wearing pants. Like when it's nice out, like I wish it was nice out. I'd rather wear pants than like jeans or than like shorts and stuff. They look nicer and shit, but
yeah, no, definitely.
it is what it is. I don't know.
And especially being a comic, you're just like selling your like image, you know?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you kind of have to look nice.
It is cool that you're like you want to dress nice because you're going on stage and all that.
But I think a fanny pack would work well into your look once you grow your hair out.
Ugh, I'm so tired.
You want some?
No, I don't want that. I don't really like that energy drink that much, if I'm being completely honest. You know what I was
not
thinking?
sponsored. V8 Energy.
You know what I was thinking about too is we I had a clip from this podcast go kind of viral on TikTok. It was from Galen's episode. It was us talking about Osama getting assassinated.
Osama.
Yeah, and I put it on Instagram and it got like, or not on TikTok, and it got like 50.5K views. Like,
congrats.
Thank you. Yeah. Here's what I forgot is that when with comes fame comes bullies.
Oh yeah, you always get hate comments, but that's how you know you're famous.
I know. That's when I was like, I made it, but I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't go through like all 80 comments and that there wasn't 1 or 2 comments where someone was like, this podcast fucking sucks, and for the next 3 hours I was like, my podcast fucking sucks. This guy, user 866213 with no profile picture, this guy's fucking right. I suck and I should kill myself, and this podcast sucks.
I literally don't understand the point behind hate comments. Like, especially for like big celebrities like Chrissy Teigen. She's a huge celebrity. Why are people gonna comment and be like, you're ugly? You think she's gonna go poo?
Which it's so fun. No, exactly. But
she's
funny.
Also like a woman, not like a teenager, you know?
Yeah, it's funny because either A, this guy has just seen my podcast clips and doesn't like those, or B, he saw that clip, thought it was funny, went to listen to my podcast, and then didn't like it. But either way, he still went to listen and still liked the clip. Or the funniest option is that he saw that Osama clip, hated it so much, and thought it was so unfunny that he was like, let me go make sure that this podcast sucks. And then listened and was like, I was right. This podcast sucks.
Last option, he was just in a bad mood and you happened to come up on his TikTok and he was like, I hate you.
I know.
I'm projecting.
Yeah, well, when you hear like famous people talk about that stuff, like I hear like Tom Segura talk about it. He's like, anytime you respond back, like when people you're like fuck you, like they're like, sorry man, like I was in a bad mood. I didn't think you'd see this. Like I didn't think you'd respond.
Because they never think that people are actually gonna see it. Unless there's only like 2 other comments, then they're like, oh God, they're going to see it. But if there's at least like 8 comments, they're like, oh, they probably won't see it.
Yeah, I've never
Which is so weird.
I think the only
because people are obsessed with themselves. Of course they're going to read the comments.
I never put negative comments unless it's like a fun, like a joke, like I'm making a joke type thing. And then it's not negative. Or the last time I put a negative comment was, there's a podcast that's called Your Last Resort. And then it's like a semicolon podcast. And it started after
Your Last Resort, the podcast.
Yeah,
or something
and
like
it started after my podcast, and their bio is like just like they took a thesaurus. Like mine is like you didn't end up here by choice. It's your last resort. And theirs is like you didn't end up here because you wanted to. It's your last resort. Like
they really just when they say write the textbook in your own words, but then you just kind of
yeah. The one where it's like I fucking left a very mean review on their podcast because I was like, you guys fucking stole my shit. But then I also found out that they stopped doing it after like 30 episodes, and there hasn't been an episode in like a year.
There are so many people that do that. I feel like they'll start a podcast and then they go, never mind.
Yeah, there's a friend of mine that I could shit on right now for doing that, but I won't. Just because I know that he should keep doing his podcast because I enjoyed it. But
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but it's easy to quit. Like there's it's
easy to quit a lot of things.
I never wanted to talk about my numbers, but there's been moments where like where there's been runs where episodes do better than others, and there's downs where like views are way down and then they kick back up. And those moments when they're down, it's really easy to be like, well, like this amount of people are listening, like would they really miss listening to it?
No.
And you want to just end it. So I appreciate anyone that listens and gives me any feedback. Whenever people take time to tell me that they enjoy the podcast or they enjoyed an episode, it means fucking
and I hope
a lot.
They like hearing my voice for the 7th time.
Yeah, they probably your episodes people seem to always like. I can't figure out if it's because you're hot and they like looking at you or they just like
not anymore.
Or not anymore, guys. That's how I'm gonna advertise it. Is
I'm gonna be like the Joker.
It's gonna get one view because they're gonna hear like talk about her injury. They're like, I don't want to see her anymore.
I know they're gonna be mad that you didn't put a trigger warning for blood.
Yeah, I gotta warn people about it. What is the NFSW that people put?
That means not safe for work.
Yeah.
So that means if there's like cussing or nudity.
Well, this is not
something.
safe for work by any means.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, me either. But that was what I want to talk about people being. I thought about being bullied on TikTok, and then the other things that I mentioned last week that we were gonna mention was just you pointed it out to me that I do this thing where if I hear like a certain word that is in a song, I just sing song lyrics, and I was curious.
Well, it's not even that you hear something; you'll just like go to say something, and then you'd be like in your head, "That's from a song," and then you'll just sing like whatever that sentence.
If there's like if I'm saying or hear a word that is like a memorable lyric in a song, I can't not sing the lyrics.
Like it could be something simple as you being like, "Of course," and then you'll just go into
dangerous. It like every time it makes me think of the Schoolboy song when it goes, "I'm feeling dangerous."
Oh, like, the word dangerous.
I do that. I'm like, "I'm feeling dangerous."
But there's so many.
Makes me think like it'll make me just think of the beat from it. Like there's all kinds of shit like that.
I know, but I think it's funny because you'll do that and then I just kind of go nice, or like we won't even say anything about it. Like we won't even acknowledge it. We're just like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like part of.
And then one day I was like, oh my god, you do that a lot.
And ever since you pointed out, I didn't realize how much I started doing it. And I was just, it's one of those things where I'm sure there's other people that do it, but I'm very curious if other people the same way are like always singing like little words and phrases trigger songs and lyrics from, because it does for me.
I think it's so interesting when you like obviously get to know somebody so well and then they're like, well, you know how you do this, and you're like, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, you do that all the time.
It's not always positive though. People can tell
you.
Like my friends from Murray one day were just like, Mott's one day was just like, bro, you tell the longest stories ever. And then he told me that 3.5 years ago, and I still subconsciously think about it whenever I tell a story.
So when you tell stories, it's always very detailed.
Yeah.
But it like you don't. What's what I'm looking for? Like you don't drag it on more than it needs to.
I don't think
you just tell it exactly how it happened.
I think occasionally I definitely maybe drag on a little.
But it's not like a constant thing. Like you don't do that all the time.
Have you seen the chapstick?
Yeah, it's right here.
Can I have that, please? Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world.
But like it's so funny because like I've talked to your parents about this, how like me and your dad will kind of like laugh because like it's how you are. But like we love it, obviously. And like if I'll be like, hey, what happened this one time? You're like, oh, well, it was this, and this, and this, and this, and this, done.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm very thorough.
You're thorough, but you tell it like exactly how it happened, but with like small anecdotes, but they don't drag on. Like you tell stories in just like a very specific way.
I think it's fun. I think it's why
That's why I like whenever we're like at the movies and I have to like leave for a second, I'm like, I'll leave because I know that you will tell me exactly what I need to know.
Yeah. I just sometimes the stories drag on, or I'll go back in stories because you can hear me do it on here all the time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is because I think that those details are so important for a story. I think it's why I write jokes the way I do, why I'm a storyteller instead of like a quick joke guy on stage.
Definitely.
And I think that I'm, I'm funny. Like, I've had some, I'm funny. I've always, it's so weird. You can tell how weird I feel even saying that, like, because it's like, as a comic, all you want to do is be funny. So like deeming yourself funny almost seems like you're like a high schooler being like, I'm an NFL player. Like, no,
that would be like a scientist being like, yes, I'm good at math.
Yeah. Or I guess. Yeah.
Of course I know how DNA works.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. Or you being like a scientist. I bet it would be like a scientist saying they're smart.
Okay.
They probably
there
do
you go.
feel
That's
a little
better.
weird saying they're smart, but they're a scientist. Of course they're smart. Like, oh, you're a comedian. Of course you're funny. But
yeah, exactly.
I think my story, the stories I tell on stage are longer winded too, but I think people enjoy them. I definitely tend to ramble sometimes, like I am right now, but it is what it is.
Well, okay, but I'm the worst at telling stories.
You are bad because you tell long stories by me, but you tell the most unnecessary details.
Because to me, I'm like, you have to know it exactly. Because
you'll be
how
like,
it happened.
You'll do like this. You'll be
it was
like,
a cold, breezy
me
night.
and Erica. You'll be like, me and my mom went to dinner, or me and my mom went to dinner.
We went to the mall.
And then you'll be like, we went to dinner. Like, it was like 7:00 at night, and we were hungry, so we drove to a restaurant to get food. And you're like, yeah.
The restaurant was cool because it had a cool vibe, and then I decided.
No, that's explaining it. I'm saying that you literally, like, what you do is you go, me and my mom had dinner last night. Mm-hmm. And then you go, yeah, we were hungry, so we got up and we were like, you know what, we're hungry, we should change that. And we got in the car and we drove down the road and we went to the restaurant. We sat down at the restaurant and we had dinner. Or we ate. And it's like, yeah, you telling me you went to dinner, that was all explained. So that's why your stories are so long-winded, and why sometimes in a story, I'm like, I know. Because you'll state something.
I think I've gotten better.
No, because I literally did this yesterday. You've not gotten any better. If anything, I think it's gotten worse.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you just, it's okay, though. I there's part of me, I wouldn't say I like it, but because that would mean I would, like, want it to continue happening. I don't necessarily want it to not. You don't have to stop it. But that's why you tell long-winded stories.
Yeah.
Or you just triple, double, you just tell me what happens in like 5 different ways. And it's like, yeah, I fucking get it. Get on with the story. Like, you haven't even told me where you ate. Like, move on. You want to tell me what you ate if it's important to the story? Yes. But to just ramble makes no sense.
Well, something that I was thinking of before when I was like saying how when you get to point something out that you didn't realize, when you say that you can see in a room how I got distracted when I'm not in the room anymore.
Yeah, that too.
You're like, okay, so she was here, and then she got distracted, and then she started doing this, and then she got distracted.
Yeah, with your ADD, I literally can be like, oh, she started to do this, started to do that, started to do this. Which I think it's good because I need something to micromanage, and it's you. Because it's like, it's, you know what I mean? It's just like, I remember like it happened last night.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, hey, can you finish putting the hamper away? And there was like a hamper that the clothes were now like set on the side, and you had hung the bag on one side but not finished putting it up. And I was like, holy fuck, like, you maybe got a notification, saw something shiny, a bird flew by the window, I called your name. Any of those are possibilities of what happened in the middle of this.
Or I take out the ice tray, but then I don't fill it up.
Yeah, you take it out to fill it up and then leave it out so it melts.
And I'm like, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, it's the wildest thing to watch. Yeah, but it's okay. You're all right. Anyway, well, guys, we're going to start wrapping up the podcast. We're going to move into the final segment, the Would You Rathers of the podcast. So I got one for you right here.
Okay.
Would you rather know how many times someone thought you were attractive and didn't say something, or how many times a decision prevented you from dying.
Oh my God.
So it's just kind of one of those ones where like the dying one seems like the easy choice at first because you're like, holy fuck, like how many times have I died? But my worry is
almost.
yeah, my worry is that once you know that, the fear, because what if they're like, yeah, Erica, you've almost died 475 times in your life.
They're
You'd be
like because you didn't go through that yellow light or something like that,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I think it could send you spiraling. Now the
and
attractive,
you would become such a recluse, I think. You wouldn't want to do anything.
yeah, now the attractive thing is obviously not as useful for like us because we're in a relationship. But in this scenario, if you weren't in a relationship, it would be pretty fire to know like, oh, this person thinks I'm attractive. Like, oh, they don't. Because I'm even talking outside of like, oh, is this person going to fuck me? Like, what if you're at an interview and you're like, you can read in their mind when they're like, oh, they think I'm so hot. So you lay on the charm a little.
Yeah, of course,
Stuff
of course.
like
Or like
things,
at a restaurant, like
a cop, like you're getting a ticket.
Oh,
and
that's
you
a
can
good
tell
one.
that he's like in his mind.
Yeah, he's like being very serious, but he's like, wow,
Yeah,
she's
he's
so
like, I'd
hot.
love to do some police brutality on that ass.
Oh, God. Too soon.
Yeah. He's like, back to blue. That ass is going to be back in blue when I'm done tearing it up.
Oh, my God.
I should be a cop. I should write for cop pornos. They should just hire
know?
They should just hire me.
If it pays
know.
well.
Yeah. I just thought of one that I'm not going to say, and I'll tell you off camera.
Okay.
But I
Don't
think
forget.
it's the worst thing. It's a good one. It's too bad for me to say on here. I'm going to go with, which one are you thinking then? Out of the attractive and preventing someone from dying?
So the thing about being a woman
What?
is when people are attracted to you, men, most
Yeah.
of the time they just fucking tell you, and you go, I didn't care. I didn't want to know. Like when guys like, oh God, especially when I'd be sitting at like Cypress College and they would just sit down next to me and I'd be like, I so clearly do not want to talk to you. I don't care if you find me attractive. I am stressing about my final or something like that. And they'd just be like, so you come here often? I'd be like, of course I fucking come here often, you dumbass. It just makes me so mad when like guys shut up. When guys think that you want to know.
Yeah, they're like, how dare a guy
like you'll have both your headphones in with your hood on.
I get you, yeah.
And it's annoying.
There's something where it's like, don't get me wrong, like when I was single, like I flirted, I liked to flirt, test the field, do all that stuff. Like it wasn't like I was some devout like Christian boy or anything like that. But what I'm saying is there was always a boundary in my mind that I feel like people with common sense have, where you're like, oh, this would be a weird scenario. Like, oh, I'm not going to hit on you while you're working out at the gym. Like, oh, I'm not going to hit on you while you have both headphones on walking by yourself.
Exactly.
Like, oh, I'm not going to, like there's scenarios where it's weird and I would watch people just not give a fuck and do it. And there's part of me that's like props to them, but also it's just weird that you think that in this scenario, like that's you're like, yeah, you should go hit on this girl right now.
One time I was walking into a bathroom at Cypress College again.
Yeah.
And this guy he like stopped me and was like, hey, I just want to tell you, like, you're so pretty or whatever. And I said, listen, and I was like in a really bad mood too. And I said, hey, I'm about to bleed through my tampon right now, so if you could leave, that'd be great. Wow. I literally said that and he went, because I was just
and
not
then
having it.
He made it right into the men's bathroom and just beat off to them. You found his G-spot fetish.
But like I'm walking into the bathroom.
No, that's...
What makes you think?
Yeah, that's weird. It's so weird.
I know.
I think though the thing why okay, because look, whatever. I think that I truly in my heart of hearts I have the face of someone that I think there's a lot of people that find me attractive, but I think that there's also a lot of people that find me ugly. So it's not, because there's people who they're like, oh yeah, like that person's subjectively attractive, they're subjectively ugly.
People also have type.
I think there's people, I think there's a handful, I think there's people that like would be like, Brandon Lejean's an attractive person, but I also think there's people that'd be like, Brandon Lejean, that fool's ugly. And so I get it, like I'm that 50-50. I feel so I didn't that's like a guerrilla tactic. I say guerrilla like guerrilla warfare, like Viet Cong, you fucking pop out of the bushes, surprise them before they go in the bathroom. That only works if you're hot. Because think about it. In that scenario, you going up and telling her that you think that she's pretty.
Because we've seen it happen with like,
that's not
people
some immaculate game. That's not some clever thing. That's not her first time being called pretty. It's not your first time being called beautiful. There's nothing special. It's, if you actually take a second to think about it, it's borderline creepy, because this fool was staring at you from a distance for a minute before he decided to come up and spit this shit at you. It's weird. Your only hope in that moment is that like the girl looks at you and goes, oh shit, I want to fuck that. That's your only hope.
We were wine tasting and you got hit on. We might have already talked about this in the podcast.
Oh, yeah, I did forget about that.
That was so exciting because she sat right in between us because we were at like the corner of the table.
Yeah.
And she was talking to you for a minute and then she goes, and I forgot how it came up, but then she realized we were dating and she was like, oh.
Yeah, it was funny because I truly thought she was just being friendly, and I remember
I also thought
I think
so
I
too.
even invited them to come like drinking with us because we had like a few single friends.
Neither of us had any idea, and as soon as I like walked away, all of like the girls that were with us were like, "Oh my god, you must be so pissed," and I was like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah,
I just had no idea.
Because it was weird. Because at first I thought they were being friendly, but then I realized the longer that they like after they pointed it out, and I thought about it, I was like, huh, yeah, it was weird that this independent wine group, that one girl came over and decided to sit.
She was like, it was a dare. And we're like, what?
Me, which she said it was a dare at first, and then she like changed her story later too.
Yeah, and then she had her friend come sit with her because she felt awkward and stuff, and oof, it was just a little weird, but not until after.
yeah, no, 100%.
Because in the moment we were like, wow, what a cool friend, new friend.
Yeah.
Just oblivious.
See, but for girls, it's easier because like, I don't, maybe it's not, maybe that's like not whatever.
Because like, girls don't normally go up to
But that's
guys.
what I'm saying. Like, if I was single and that girl came up to me, most guys, as long as that girl isn't like objectively ugly, and she could be ugly, but if she has a nice body, like most guys would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Whereas a girl, like, one, you got to be attractive, but also they're like, hey, I want to know your personality, where guys are just like.
Or they're like, oh, he has this piece of, accessory on. I don't like him anymore. He's ugly now.
The best bit for this is go look up Tom Segura, I'm horny like guys, and that's one of my favorite bits, and you're not. So
back to the would you rather.
Yes, I'm gonna go with the attractive because I'm egotistical and I want to know.
Okay, and what was the other one again?
How many times? Actually, I'm gonna go dying. How many times you prevented from dying? Dying would be so much cooler, and knowing, and the whole spiraling thing could happen, whereas all of a sudden you find out that no one thinks you're attractive.
Oh.
Or I find that everyone's attractive, so it gets to my head and I leave you, and then I start dating other women, but then the ultimate thing is that I realize that none of them fulfill my like shallow needs, like attractitive, and then it's like every Hallmark movie that you've ever seen.
I know, how cute.
I'm gonna go with dying because I want to know how many times I've like, how lucky am I?
Right?
I don't even know how attractive I am. How fucking lucky am I? How stupid and lucky am I guess is a better way. You ready for the last one?
Yeah. Oh, I would also have to go with dying as well.
Wow, I forgot how crazy of a last question this was. Would you rather fly a Nazi flag or a Confederate flag?
Oh my god.
I guess.
Death.
Okay, so I wrote this down.
Kill me instead.
I wanted no. You've been on 7 times. That's no choice.
I know.
Well, I realized I was thinking the reason I chose this is because which one do you think is worse? Well, actually, I know this, and it's
like
the Nazi flag is so much worse. This is actually not a hard would you rather.
No, I know, but they're both like so awful.
Yes, but think about it. The Confederate flag is okay for you to still fly. The Nazi flag would get the shit beat out of you
by like anyone.
Like, because here's how I'll put it. Ready? Is I think you could walk into a group of Southern minorities with a Confederate flag, and they might be like, it's Southern heritage. You can't walk into a group of Southern minorities or German minorities and be like, it's our heritage.
Can I paint over the flag?
Like our friends in Murray had, like our homie had a Confederate flag in his apartment. And that was okay. But our German roommate did not have a Nazi flag in his room.
Yeah.
Because that would not have been okay.
I also think Europeans might be just a little bit smarter.
Well, I mean, if we look at it from a war-wise, the Nazis did a lot better at war than the South did.
That's true.
The South got swept in 4.
Yeah, the South was a little bit pathetic. Whereas the Nazis were just like a fucking like force, you know? It's like, God, that's so, this is such an awful question.
I know.
Oh, what a way to end.
Well, well, we dug ourselves a hole.
Yeah, as I said, if you could just shoot me right in the head, that would be cool. Slit my throat, that would be cool instead. But I would definitely have to go with the Confederate flag because people stupidly still fly it because they say, "Oh, it's my heritage."
Yeah, you would be more accepted.
Which is insane.
Also, I know that the Confederacy was basically established on, okay, so like the Confederacy was established on the idea of keeping slavery. So I guess if you want to say that the idea of slavery, how many people it killed, that yes, the Confederacy is a terrible thing, but like the North had slavery before this. So I look at the Confederacy, the North had
I guess they did.
Until then, that's what led to the war.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, well, you can't give the war off the hook. So you got to go like what happened during wartime. So yes, they represented slavery and all that. But like the Nazis killed 12 million people in concentration camps, which is so many people to do just from when the Nazis existed. Like it's all bad. Not
it's
good
all
stuff.
bad.
Well,
that's why as soon as you said that, I just said, "Kill me."
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna wrap the podcast up. I'm gonna wrap it up now.
Okay.
If there's anything, the floor is yours to promote. I mean, at this point, you know.
I mean, everyone go listen to all of his podcasts all at the same time. That would be cool.
Play them all. You know how you could like flush all the toilets at the same time and it would cause like a tsunami? If you listen to all my podcasts at the same time, 1 in every 4 Americans will go deaf in the United States. Proven fact. It's like the Infinity Gauntlet of ears.
Proven fact.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you, whether this is your first time or your 73rd time listening. I can't thank you enough. As for me, coming up on August 29th here in Texas, I have at AJ's CBD Lounge, Big J's CBD Lounge. Let me get the name right. Flyers between me. You can see me. I'll be doing about 10 to 15 minutes. Going to be there. Come get Delta 8 THC Faded. Yeah, they're giving those out. And then, excuse me, guys. And then you can see me this coming weekend. Guys, this episode will be out Wednesday. So coming up this weekend on Saturday, you can see me twice. I'll be back California. I'm coming back for a family event that I had to come back for. I'll be back for the weekend only. But you can see me in Garden Grove at 8 p.m. at the 122 show with Viet Nguyen. I'm going to be doing some time there. And then at Flyers Between Us. And then you can see me that night at 10 p.m. at Group Therapy in Placentia. I'll be telling some jokes on the Extra Crispy show. Just come out and see me. And a new Your Last Review is out now. Go check it out. It's In-N-Out versus Whataburger. We're doing something a little different. So
I think we know which one's going to win.
Yes. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. It means the world. I cannot thank you enough. To the squad, I love you. And most importantly, thank you for letting us be your last resort. See ya.
This has been a Your Last Resort production.